Horatio Nelson, one of Britain's greatest naval heroes, was born on September 29, 1758, in Burnham Thorpe, a small village in Norfolk, England. He was the sixth of 11 children born to Reverend Edmund Nelson, a modest clergyman, and Catherine Suckling Nelson, whose family had minor gentry connections. Life in the Nelson household was frugal but nurturing, with a strong emphasis on duty and religion, shaping young Horatio's sense of purpose. At age 12, Nelson's life took a dramatic turn. His maternal uncle, Captain Morris Suckling, served in the Royal Navy, and in 1771, Horatio, inspired by tales of adventure and a desire to escape rural life, begged to join him. Suckling, commanding the 64-gun HMS Reasonable, agreed to take the frail, undersized boy aboard as a midshipman. On January 1, 1771, Nelson stepped onto the ship at Chatham, beginning his naval career at just 12 years old. The Royal Navy, not the Army, would be his lifelong calling. Life at sea was harsh. Nelson faced brutal conditions: cramped quarters, meager rations, and the constant threat of disease or battle. Under Suckling's mentorship, he learned navigation, seamanship, and gunnery, displaying an early knack for leadership despite his youth and frequent seasickness. In 1773, Suckling arranged for Nelson to join a merchant vessel bound for the West Indies, broadening his experience. Later that year, at 15, he volunteered for an Arctic expedition aboard HMS Carcass, enduring freezing conditions and near disaster when stranded on ice floes while hunting polar bears. These early voyages forged his resilience and ambition. By 1776, at 17, Nelson passed his lieutenant's exam, a significant step, though his youth required special approval. Promoted in 1777, he served in the West Indies, honing his skills in navigation and combat during skirmishes tied to the American Revolutionary War. His first command came in 1778 at 20, as acting lieutenant of the schooner Little Lucy. In 1779, he was promoted to full lieutenant and assigned to HMS Lowestoft, where his boldness and initiative began to shine. Nelson never served in the Army. His path was firmly naval. By his early 20s, he was a rising star in the Royal Navy, driven by a mix of courage, tactical brilliance, and unrelenting ambition. His early years, from a quiet Norfolk childhood to a daring midshipman facing the perils of the sea, laid the foundation for his legendary career, culminating in triumphs like Trafalgar decades later. The Battle of Trafalgar, fought on October 21, 1805, off the southern coast of Spain near Cape Trafalgar, was a pivotal naval clash during the Napoleonic Wars. It pitted the British Royal Navy, led by Vice Admiral Horatio Nelson, against a combined French and Spanish fleet under Vice Admiral Pierre-Charles Villeneuve. The battle's outcome shaped European naval supremacy and thwarted Napoleon's ambitions to invade Britain. The story begins with Napoleon's plan to dominate Europe. By 1805, he had amassed an army to invade Britain, but he needed control of the English Channel to cross safely. The combined fleet of France and Spain, with 33 ships of the line, was tasked with breaking Britain's naval dominance. Nelson, commanding 27 ships of the line aboard his flagship HMS Victory, was determined to stop them. Nelson's strategy was bold and unconventional. Rather than forming a traditional line of battle parallel to the enemy, he devised the Nelson Touch, splitting his fleet into two columns to pierce the Franco-Spanish line, aiming to break their formation and engage in close-quarters combat where British gunnery and discipline excelled. At dawn, the combined fleet was spotted sailing in a loose, curved line. Nelson, aware of his numerical disadvantage, signaled his fleet. England expects that every man will do his duty. Around noon, the battle erupted as Nelson's columns charged. HMS Victory led one, and Vice Admiral Cuthbert Collingwood's HMS Royal Sovereign spearheaded the other. The British ships endured heavy fire as they closed in, but once they broke through, chaos ensued. The Franco-Spanish line fragmented, and the British leveraged their superior training, firing faster and more accurately. Ships like the French Redoutable and Spanish Santísima Trinidad fought fiercely but were overwhelmed. Nelson, standing on Victory's quarterdeck, was a prime target. At about 1:15 p.m., a musket shot from Redoutable's mast struck him in the shoulder. He was carried below, mortally wounded, but continued issuing orders. Meanwhile, the battle raged. By late afternoon, the British had captured or destroyed 18 enemy ships without losing a single vessel. Villeneuve was captured and the combined fleet's cohesion collapsed. Nelson, informed of the victory, died around 4:30 p.m. His last words reportedly, "Thank God I have done my duty." The battle ended with a decisive British triumph, securing their naval dominance for decades and ensuring Napoleon could not invade Britain. However, the loss of Nelson, a national hero, cast a somber shadow over the victory. Trafalgar's legacy was profound. It crippled Franco-Spanish naval power, shifted the Napoleonic War's momentum, and cemented Britain's maritime supremacy, paving the way for its imperial dominance in the 19th century. The battle remains a testament to Nelson's genius and the Royal Navy's resilience.